October 15, 2021, police responded to a distress call from an apartment complex on Oak Street and discovered the lifeless body of 32-year-old Ethan Reed lying in a pool of his own blood. The prime suspect was his girlfriend of 2 years, 29-year-old software engineer Olivia Rogan. As investigators delved deeper into the case, they uncovered a disturbing web of surveillance, manipulation, and escalating control that had ensnared Ethan in the months leading up to his death. Hidden cameras meticulously placed throughout his apartment revealed a silent tale of paranoia and obsession. Hello, and welcome to our channel. If you are new here, please subscribe and press the bell notification. Olivia Rogan's journey to becoming a central figure in a tragic true crime story began long before she met Ethan Reed. Born in 1993 to Margaret and James Rogan, Olivia grew up in a middle-class suburb of Portland. From a young age, people around her noticed her intense need for attention and validation. After a 2-week trial and 3 days of deliberation, the jury found Olivia guilty of first-degree murder. At the sentencing hearing, the judge strongly criticized Olivia's actions before sentencing her to life in prison without the chance of parole. As Ashland began to heal, the community reflected on love, trust, and the human capacity for both compassion and cruelty. This case was remembered not only for its shocking end, but also as a reminder to recognize and address harmful relationship dynamics before they lead to tragedy. At Stanford University, Olivia's controlling tendencies shifted to the world of technology. Her college roommate Sarah Jennings recalled Olivia's interest in coding and surveillance software. After graduating with honors, Olivia secured a prestigious job at a tech startup. Her colleagues described her as driven and detail-oriented, often working long hours to perfect her code. Despite her professional success, her personal life remained troubled with brief, tumultuous relationships. By early 2020, Olivia had moved back to Ashland and started working remotely. She had left behind a string of broken relationships, but no one could have guessed the dark turn her life would take when she met Ethan Reed. Born in 1990 in Ashland, Ethan was the youngest of 3 in a close family. His high school teacher, Mrs. Elaine Hoffman, remembered him warmly. After earning a degree in English literature, Ethan returned to teach at Ashland High School. He had steady, long-term relationships in his personal life. Olivia and Ethan met at a local farmers market in May 2020, bonding over their love for classic literature and hiking. During a hike to Grizzly Peak, Ethan admired Olivia's intelligence and wit. Their relationship grew quickly as they spent evenings discussing books, sharing meals, and enjoying nature. However, Olivia's possessiveness started early. She frequently called and texted Ethan when they weren't together, which he initially overlooked, thinking things would improve over time. Instead, her behavior became more controlling, cutting him off from his life and friends. By fall 2020, Olivia was almost living with Ethan and began controlling many aspects of his daily life. His colleague, Jessica Lawson, noticed changes in his work behavior, like turning down social invitations. Olivia even controlled his social media, leading to sparse and impersonal posts. Olivia also tried to isolate Ethan from his family. Amanda Reed recalled a troubling incident when Ethan canceled a holiday visit at the last minute, saying Olivia was unwell. Olivia used emotional manipulation, alternating between affection and cold treatment to control Ethan. As 2021 went on, Olivia's behavior grew more erratic, accusing Ethan of cheating without evidence. Ethan's sister Amanda voiced her concerns about the relationship, but Ethan remained committed to Olivia. Olivia, a software engineer, decided to install hidden cameras throughout her apartment while Ethan was away at a teaching conference. She had a key to his apartment, which gave her unfettered access. Over the next several hours, she carefully placed cameras in the living room, kitchen, bedroom, and even the bathroom, ensuring every corner of Ethan's private space was under surveillance. Olivia's obsession with the camera feeds grew, leading to neglecting her work, sleep, and increasingly strained interactions with Ethan. One evening, Ethan noticed that several volumes were slightly out of place, and his toiletries seemed rearranged. He felt as if someone was watching him, but when he looked up, he was alone. Ethan's friend and fellow teacher, Jessica Lawson, recalled a conversation they had during this period. She said he was probably just stressed about work, but she could tell it was really bothering him. Olivia's behavior added to Ethan's growing discomfort. She began making comments about his daily activities that she shouldn't have known about. When Ethan expressed confusion about these slip-ups, Olivia would quickly change the subject or provide vague explanations. As his unease grew, Ethan found himself second-guessing his own memories and perceptions. He began to pay closer attention to his surroundings, noting any changes or oddities in his apartment. He even considered confiding in his sister, Amanda, but hesitated, worried that his suspicions might sound absurd or that he might be overreacting. On an October evening, Ethan had been grading papers late into the night, and as he stretched and prepared to call it a night, his elbow knocked a small potted plant off the side table. As Ethan knelt to clean up the mess, something caught his eye amidst the debris, a tiny lens no bigger than a pencil eraser glinting in the low light. His heart racing, Ethan carefully extracted the object from the soil. It was a miniature camera, expertly concealed within the plant's base. The moment of revelation came on an October evening. As Ethan's mind reeled, the implications of the strange comments Olivia had made, her uncanny knowledge of his daily activities, and the feeling of being watched, it all suddenly made horrifying sense. The woman he had loved and trusted had violated his privacy in the most intimate way possible. In a daze, Ethan called his sister Amanda, who immediately responded to the sound of distress in her brother's voice. She asked what was wrong, and Ethan recounted his discovery. Amanda listened in shocked silence, turning her initial disbelief into anger on her brother's behalf. As Ethan's story unfolded, Amanda's protective instincts kicked in, insinuating that Ethan needed to leave the apartment and come to her place. In the end, Amanda's steady voice guided his next actions. Document everything, she advised, taking pictures of the cameras and saving any recordings, and they'll go to the police in the morning. In the early hours of October 15, 2021, Ethan and Olivia's relationship was strained when they were confronted by Olivia's surveillance network. Ethan, feeling emotionally drained from the confrontation, decided to call Olivia over to discuss their situation. Olivia arrived at Ethan's apartment with tears in her eyes, and she began to explain her actions. However, Ethan's control and silence led Olivia to become more depressed and desperate. Olivia's pleas turned to threats, such as ruining his career and telling his students and colleagues about embarrassing moments she had captured on camera. When these threats failed to sway Ethan, she resorted to emotional manipulation, threatening self-harm if he left her. Ethan remained resolute, knowing that there was no coming back from this betrayal. As Olivia stormed out of the apartment, Ethan sat on the couch, emotionally exhausted. He thought the worst was over, unaware that Olivia's desperation was about to take a far more dangerous turn. The events of October 15, 2021, would forever be etched in the memories of Ashland's residents. Ethan called in sick to work, emotionally drained from the confrontation with Olivia, and spent the morning talking with his sister Amanda about filing a police report about the hidden cameras. As evening approached, he decided to take a walk to clear his head, leaving his phone behind to avoid any desperate messages from Olivia. When Olivia returned home, she entered the building, her face set in a mask of determination. She used her key to let herself in, her mind racing with anger, desperation, and a twisted sense of righteous indignation. When Ethan returned home, he found Olivia waiting for him in the darkened living room. Olivia's response was chilling in its calmness, but she quickly spiraled out of control. Ethan tried to reason with Olivia, but Olivia's strength seemed superhuman. Neighbors later reported hearing shouts and the sound of breaking glass. One concerned neighbor called 911, but help would arrive too late. By the time police broke down the door of Ethan's apartment, the tragic scene had already played out to its grim conclusion. They found Ethan on the floor with multiple stab wounds marking his body, the life already fading from his eyes. Olivia sat beside him, the bloody knife still clutching in her hand, her gaze vacant as she stared at what she had done. The investigation, led by Detective Sarah Nguyen of the Ashland Police Department, uncovered the full extent of Olivia's surveillance operation, revealing months of invasive monitoring. This digital trail, along with physical evidence from the crime scene and witness statements, painted a damning picture of obsession and premeditated violence. Ethan's family and friends were devastated, and his sister Amanda struggled with guilt. As the investigation progressed, more details of Olivia's troubled past came to light, with former colleagues and ex-boyfriends coming forward with stories of her controlling behavior and emotional manipulation. Her parents, shell-shocked by their daughter's actions, could only offer tearful apologies to Ethan's family. The district attorney presented a methodical case, walking the jury through the progression of Olivia's obsessive behavior, while the defense focused on Olivia's mental state, bringing in expert witnesses to testify about her history of attachment issues and borderline personality disorder. So, what do you think of our video? Let us know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video and want to hear from me again, be sure to hit that subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.